Perfect. FightHype.com here with Erickson Lubin. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, boss. How you?
No complaints, man. No complaints. First off, gotta wish you a happy birthday. I know your birthday was just this past weekend. How was it for you?
It was good, man. It was good. I just turned 27, so I'm entering my prime.
That's what we like to hear, man. So, you're not really the type that talks a lot on social media or anything like that, even though you do have a pretty big following. So, when it comes to you, things kind of seem to be like a little bit under wraps. Is there like any idea on when we can expect you back in the ring, or you're not too sure yet?
Um, I'm trying to get in there before the year ends. So maybe December or maybe early next year, January, February. But I'm trying to get in there as soon as possible.
Got you.
I ain't like you were saying before. I ain't no type of dude to be sitting there going back and forth on social media. I feel
Mhm.
like at 154 pounds, everybody's fighting each other, so there's no need for that. You know what I mean, there's no need for everybody to just be sitting there going back and forth. These fights are happening, unlike the other divisions where those fights are hard to make or it's made and then it's called off.
Yeah, don't even get me started with that shit, man. Don't don't get me started with that, man. But I know you're also not the type to, get like a soft touch or warm up guy or anything like that. At least if it was like up to you, I know you'd want to jump back into the ring with like another top guy. Is there anybody? I know, things have to be worked out behind the scenes, but is there anybody in particular where you're just like, I'd like to get back in the ring, maybe against like a Tony Harrison or something like that?
I mean, I say a fight with me and Tony Harrison makes sense because just look at both guys. It's a fight that everybody's been. I've been hearing about the fight for some years now. Everybody's been wanting to see that fight. They've been anticipating that fight in this division. So I feel like we both in that position where we both trying to become champion. Well, he's been champion before, but we both trying to get back on top, get all the way to the top, and just and be that top guy, be one of those top guys like that everybody wants to fight. They're calling, after my Fandor fight, they started to call my name and started to say that they want to fight me. I see guys like Joey Spencer. I see guys like I think it was a Jesus Ramos, and
Yeah.
those are also fights that I don't mind making happen. If they want to make those fights happen, I'll be more than happy than to dust those dudes off. But a fight between me and Tony Harrison, I feel like it'll draw just a lot of attention, a lot of media attention, and Tony's a good fighter. I'm a great fighter, so I think that'd be stylistically a fight that everybody wants to see. So I don't see
Yeah.
why not.
And I think the press conference will be crazy. Tony's a funny guy, so
Yeah,
that should be
yeah.
juicy, man.
I remember at the last press conference we had
Mhm.
for the Fandora fight, him and Cuba Arias,
Yeah,
they started to go at it.
yeah, I saw that. I saw your face. You was just like, "Yo, he really about to go scrap with Duke right now."
Yeah,
So,
yo, this dude is crazy.
there's another guy that came stomping into your division. Big name guy, Danny Garcia. I know you saw that fight against Jose Benavidez Jr. What were your like overall thoughts of his performance, man?
I'm not a hater. I definitely give Danny his props, for moving up a weight class and all that type of stuff. But Danny Garcia, I feel like 154 pounds might be a little bit too much for him. Just to
Mhm.
be, just to be quite honest, he's gonna have to take those soft touches like Jose Benavidez. I'm not necessarily calling him a soft touch, but
Mhm.
he's not one of the top guys in this division. So, we don't really give him the respect that we might give a Charlo or Castano or myself. So if Danny want to be considered one of the top guys in the division, then I think he should face one of the top guys like myself, like Charlo, like Tszyu or somebody. One of the top guys.
That's I guess that's a fair point. How would you how would you see a matchup between yourself and Danny playing out? I already know that you think you're gonna win, but Danny has one of the best chins out there. Do you think you can actually stop him if you guys fought?
First off, that's a fight. That's a fight that I love to make happen. But the fight gotta happen. I don't want to sit here and just say, talk a whole bunch of shit. Of course, you ask me against anybody, I'm gonna say I could whoop their ass, and I'm pretty sure I can. But I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit and do something that's probably not even gonna happen.
Gotcha.
I definitely want to make it happen though. If Danny was willing to, I seen Danny at the Barclays Center at Javante's fight.
Mhm.
We spoke briefly, but it wasn't like no animosity, or I don't think he really want to fight me.
Gotcha. It kind of it kind of seemed like after his fight, like you were a little bit annoyed, only from the standpoint of after his fight, he called out Keith Thurman, and you was just like, "Yo, man, if you want to fight Keith Thurman, you could have just stayed at 47 for all of that, man."
Right?
Mhm.
Right. Now, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like, come on, man. He's supposed to come up to 154 pounds looking for the champion. You don't come up to the division looking for somebody in the lower weight class. Come on, bro.
Fair point. Fair point. Um, just when it comes to a guy like Tszyu, he granted he hasn't really fought too many notable names. The last guy he fought was Terrell Goucher, a guy that you fought and you beat. Do you think that I don't want to say earned his position, but do you think he'll be able to give Charlo a good run for his money when they do fight next year?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure he's confident. He's going in there confident. But I think Terrell Goucher, um, if he was able to fight all night and not, I mean, I feel like granted he did take some big shots against Tszyu, but I feel like if he was if he boxed him a little bit more, I know it's easy to say, but if he boxed him a little bit more, then maybe he would have been able to, have more success. I think Charlo's not gonna sit there and trade with Tszyu. Tszyu's gonna be trying to be in there on the inside, trying to trade big shots and try to get him out and see who's the tougher guy. And I think, he might end up getting clipped like that. Cause, Terrell Goucher caught him sneaky and he went down. So, a big shot by Charlo might put him out.
Gotcha. Now, social media been buzzing lately. Got Jermell, Crawford, them going back and forth. Ever
I
since
already know what you about to talk about.
ever since you fought Charlo's been just like one of your, I don't want to say fans, but like one of your biggest supporters, man. And he also said that if because Crawford's saying, hey, I want to come up to 54 and fight him eventually. But he's like, look, if you come up, Lubin to take care of you and knock you out. So, I gotta ask you, just kind of like your overall thoughts on Charlo saying that. Can you see Terrence Crawford making his way to 54 and doing some damage, or do you see yourself catching him right there when he comes up and just taking care of him before he even gets to Charlo?
I mean, look at this. The fight didn't really last long with Charlo. Um, but after the fight, we spoke briefly in the hallway and everything, and he was just telling me, he was bigging me up, and he was telling me like, the worry he had, going into the fight and all that type of stuff. I'm not trying to talk shit or anything. I'm just stating
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
So if this go out and they start talking shit, I'm just letting you know this is all facts.
Mhm.
Came up to me, he was like, he didn't really feel as confident as he, you know, usually feels in the fight and all that type of stuff. And that was that. After that we had some Twitter wars and Twitter words. But I guess he just sees, how I bounced back from the loss I had with him, and I'm beating the same opponents that he's beating. I'm beating, guys like Terrell Goucher, Jason Rosario, just the ex world champions, top contenders. I'm beating those type of guys. So I mean, he definitely see my talent. He know what's up. He
Mhm.
definitely know what's up. He know, you know, I ain't one of them soft ones in there. I'm one of the top dogs in that ring.
For sure. But what do you think about the whole, you know, I mean, it's never been discussed like you going back and forth with like a
I
tennis
mean, that's
Crawford.
that's that's between him. That's between him and Charlo. That's between him and Crawford. Whatever they talking about, that's what they talking about. Whatever they put in front of me, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm just that type of fighter, man. I'm whoever they put Crawford in there, I'm with it. I'm just with it. Like I'm one of the best guys in boxing, man. That's just how I feel. I'm a competitor. I'm a I'm highly competitive, and I look to be the best. And you know, you got to beat the best to become the best. I'm
for,
trying to beat the top dogs, like
for sure.
not just Crawford. I'm talking about like Spence. I'm talking about like the top dogs. I want to fight dudes like Canelo. Like I want to be part of that fraternity. Biggest paydays, like for
So
real.
I guess you kind of see like in your future like matchups with Crawford and Spence eventually, like when they get a chance to move up.
I mean, eventually, yeah, for sure, for sure. I see myself fighting all the top guys, all the top guys. I see myself in a rematch with Charlo. I see myself in a rematch with Fundora. Those are the fights that I want. I like to challenge myself like that. I not just me challenging myself. I believe in myself. I know I could beat those dudes.
For sure, but let me ask you this about Crawford, man, because you know you get a lot of buzz when it comes to like your knockout power and stuff like that. And granted, you've put a lot of guys out, of course, but you know your boxing skills have always been through the roof, man. A matchup with you and Crawford, does it kind of, even though it might not be exactly realistic at the moment, does it kind of have you thinking in the back of your head and kind of wishing it did, just because he's such a great boxer? You're such a great boxer. And it's just like, man, that'll be like such a chess match. Like, I want to get that fight.
Yeah, hell yeah, those are the type of fights I like, anyways. You know, like like Ray Leonard fought he fought Tommy Hearns when they were like 22, 23, 24 years old. Like these guys they going past their primes, waiting for the big fights and waiting for the money and waiting for I don't fucking know what they're waiting, but you know, like these fights gotta happen. I'm looking forward to these fights, man. Like Tank and Ryan, like Tank and Devin, Shakur and Devin. I'm looking forward to those fights. Like let's make these shits happen.
So I'm gonna assume the whole fiasco kind of thing that's going on at 47 with Spence and Crawford, is it kind of pissing you off as well, man?
I mean, it ain't really pissing me off, but it's just like, you know, it's kind. I know it's frustrating on their end. I know they're frustrated. I see their tweets. They be frustrated. They want to fight. They
Yeah.
really want to fight. But the business aspect on and boxing is just, you know, it's a whole nother side and it's a whole nother monster. So, um, I don't know.
You know, I gotta put you on the spot though when it comes to that fight, man. That's like arguably the biggest fight in boxing. So you know, don't ride the fence, nothing like that, man. So I already see you thinking. So you know, Spence and Crawford, who you got, man?
Man, it's a draw.
Come
How about
on,
that? It's a
bro.
draw. I can't give you nothing. I can't give you nothing right now, man.
Who would you lean towards in that one? Like 51-49.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I hate to be put on the spot like this. I don't know, man. I gotta see everything. I gotta see how they looking. I gotta see the walkout. I gotta see their faces on the walkout. I gotta see all that. I gotta see body language. Then I'm gonna have. I'll pick probably like seconds before the first bell.
So does all of that stuff like actually really matters? Like you said, like the ring walk, the face off, that stuff like really like play like a huge part in the fight.
Not necessarily. You just get to see like their body language and see the, you know, the confidence they got and see, you
Mm,
know, just where they head at. You know,
gotcha.
yeah, that mental strength got to be up there. You know, they say boxing is 90% mental, 10% physical. That mental got to be definitely strong.
100%, man. And just last thing on Crawford. I don't know if you want to give me a prediction on this one either, but you know, like I already said before, him and Charlo going back and forth. You know, hypothetical world, let's just say he beats Spence and you know he decides to move up and he just gets that opportunity to fight Charlo automatically. Would you favor Charlo? Would you favor Crawford? Or is that like so 50-50 for you as well?
You looking for an answer, boy.
I
You
got
looking.
to, man. I wouldn't be a
Uh,
journalist if I wasn't, man.
um, I ain't gonna lie. I think you know what Crawford was at like 135 coming up. Like when he fought Gamboa at like
Yeah,
135.
yeah.
Um, I just don't know, man. I don't know. I think Charlo's the way bigger man, but I think Crawford definitely has much more skill, and he's mean. So, you know, he might be able to handle it. He might not. So, I don't know. That's just for something we gotta wait. We gotta wait for that if it happens. If it happens.
Gotcha. Now, if it was up to you, talking about your own career now, if you had the chance to either fight, let's take the belt away for a moment because I know that you also want the rematch with Fundora. But if you had a chance to pick either guy, man, like would it be like, all right, I want that rematch with Charlo or I want that rematch with Fundora? Belts aside.
You said take the belts, put the
Yeah,
belts out of it.
put the belts out of it because I know you would choose Charlo because of the belts.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna say Fundora. Just because going into that fight, I had injuries brewing, and I was halfway injured going into the fight. I don't want to make no excuses. I'm a real one, so I don't got to make no excuses. But going into the fight, I had some injuries, and early on into the fight, I fucked up my shoulder. And then I just had to fight like that. I just had to say fuck it. I just had to suck it up and just keep fighting. So even with me being ahead on the scorecards and dropping him and all that type of stuff, that's why it gets frustrating for me because I know I was ahead, and I don't blame my trainers for stopping the fight because my face was real crazy, but even then, coming to find out, there's not really nothing wrong, just a hairline fracture in my nose. I could have slept that off.
Fair enough, man. So I guess a part of you was kind of, I guess you're kind of like his secret supporter now. Just so he could keep on winning, just so like to set up that rematch because he is fighting this weekend.
Yeah, he is fighting this weekend. I do think he's gonna take care of this dude. Maybe the same way Spence took care of him, maybe that early, but yeah, I definitely want to get back in there with those guys. I want to get back in there with Fundora, Charlo. Definitely want to. I definitely see myself fighting guys like Tszyu and Castano, and just the top dogs.
Is it? And granted, I already know if Charlo said, "Yo, he's down to fight tomorrow," that you don't got to say nothing else to you. But do you think it's realistic that you will get that shot only because he has all the belts at 154, and it's kind of typical that when a guy gets all of the belts, maybe he'll defend it for a little while, but eventually he'll move up. Like, do you
Yeah.
think there's still like enough time, or are you not even thinking about that? You're just like, yo, I want him to move up because then all the belts gonna be vacant, and then I'm good.
Nah. Hell no.
Mm.
Hell no. He could stay in 154 pounds for as long as he wants. I'm looking at them belts. So whoever got the belts, that's who I'm gunning for. I'm gunning for whoever got the belts. I'm just lining myself to be right back in that contention and right back number one and right back to fighting those world champions
How long, like
for
just
the title.
in your view, how long do you think it's gonna take you before you're just like you're in another title eliminator? It probably won't be your next fight, but
It
you're gonna
won't
be
be
there.
long. It won't be long.
Okay.
It's possible my next fight. It won't be long.
Mm. And you
I
believe
got great handlers. And they looking to put me right back in there. For a world title shot at least.
other than Fundora, because you already fought him, I know you mentioned Tony Harrison. Are you also mentioning Tony Harrison because not just because he's a really good fighter, but would you consider him maybe like a top three guy in the division and you're just like, I want to knock him off and then just take his spot, so to speak?
Um, nah, I want the belts. I want the
Well,
belts. I don't give a fuck about.
I
I
meant
don't
like
care
on
about
your
his
way.
spot.
I meant like on your way back to the belts.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, if that's the fight that they put in front of me, there's there's different rankings, different belts. Hopefully that's lined up. We can line up a fight with me, Tony Harris. I said that before. It's an easy fight to make. We both with the same company. I've been asking for the Jarrett Hurds, the Tony Harrisons, the J Rocks. When those guys was, the top guys in the division. Now, obviously they're taking their breaks, they doing whatever they doing, but I'm still here. I'm still here, and I'm still looking to fight the top guys.